Frigate Trades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Before we get started though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. With not more being said, let's go ahead and dive into the watch list. So, as far as earnings week goes, you guys can already see in front of your screen, it is a busy week. Obviously, with all the big tech companies reporting this week. Last week we had Netflix and Tesla. Those were pretty much all the two big tech ones we had. This week you got stocks like Meta, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple, Coin, Reddit, MSTR. You just have way too many stocks reporting this week. So it's expected to be a slower week until these stocks report. So anything can change, right? It can be a slow week. Sometimes it can be volatile, right? Trump can say new tariffs. Trump can say that. Anything can happen. So for the meantime, it is a pretty short watch. There's another short video just due with how much is going on in the market and how I'm keeping a lot of things simple. So first things first is ES and NQ. And you're going to see here on the 4-hour or on the 1 hour even, you could see that we have broken the previous all-time high that we were rejecting at on ES. And so going forward, I will be keeping an eye out for any continuation above 68.40, or if we come back down and break this previous which was resistance, now turned into support potentially, right? It's a short range. It's the weekend though. Like I said, I'm going to keep things really simple. I'm not going to look super in-depth onto anything that's going on in the current market. So NQ here, kind of the same idea here. If I go on the 4-hour, 1 hour, either of those two big time frames, you can see that we recently broke the all-time high, and we broke by roughly 100 to 200 points. So 25,600 will be a continuation of the upside for me on NQ. As far as the downside goes, same story with ES. A previously resistance level, which was at the all-time high, 25,400, could potentially be a support now. So I'm either going to be looking at the bottom of that range or the top of the range, which would be continuation of all-time highs. Now, the issue with this, it is a really tight range, but again, it's the weekend. I'm not going to go super in-depth in detail just because there's no reason to, especially with how volatile the market can be with Trump over the weekend. So, especially with all the China tariff news and nothing's set in stone yet, so you really want to be careful. So, as far as the watch list goes, first things first is AMD. AMD looking to keep things pretty simple. We finally broke out of the range on Friday. Nor ended up signaling around like a 30 to 40% trade on Tesla. He didn't end up actually catching AMD. I ended up catching AMD, but I only caught like a small portion of it compared to the entire big move it had made, unfortunately. But it is what it is. That's what comes with day trading. It's just you're always gonna miss out on gains. So it is what it is. You move on forward and you just keep executing. So for AMD, I'm just going to be looking for a continuation at 255. We can talk about 254, but again, it's the weekend. Who knows where this is going to open up at? That's kind of saved more for pre-market review with stock hours in the morning of. So for tomorrow, for example, it would be Monday, and we would talk about it at 9 a.m. with the entire Discord. What the plan is if it holds below 255 and it creates some sort of consolidation at 254, maybe that's something we look at instead of 255, right? But for the meantime, I'm just going to keep things pretty general and just simple and be looking at this at 255. Last but not least, Tesla. Obviously, like I had mentioned, this had reported earnings last week, so really not too much going on. Obviously, on the bigger time frame, on the 4-hour, on the daily, you can see that we've been stuck in this 400 to 450 range for roughly, like a month now? Almost 2 months now since, September 14th. And you can see that we have been struggling to get a close above 450. Now, yes, we have broken above a few times, but we have we keep coming back into this range on Tesla. So for the meantime, with where Tesla's currently sitting at, yes, we can talk about 430. Now the nice thing about Tesla, it does have a lot of follow through. So 430 could be something we talk about if it has a lot of weakness behind it, but that's going to be saved during pre-market review tomorrow with the chat. But as far as the real levels actually go, it would be anything above 450. Yes, I would retry 450 myself if it has any strength there or if it gaps up. Or at some point this week, it just has that crazy market strength that Tesla typically has, right? So going to keep things pretty simple with Tesla, either looking at the 450 of the top of the consolidation or at 430 for some sort of intraday setup if there is anything presentable on that. So, but yeah, that is about it for the watch list, guys. Like I said, pretty short and simple, especially with tech earnings. Keeping things super general and simple. That's the best way to handle these kinds of weeks is just stick to your basics. Stay low in size. Don't over leverage or go over with what you're comfortable with. There's no reason to. Unless you see the perfect setup that you can execute on, then by all means do that. So that being said, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Before you go, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace out.